Welcome back to Surviving Networking and IT. My name is Sean, and we're going to go ahead and continue the series with setting up a Mikrotik Home Lab with GNS3 and VMware. But this specific video is about how to set up a ROMON to make your GNS3 Home Lab a lot easier to use with Mikrotik. So let's go ahead and get started right away. We're going to go ahead and grab some devices that we're going to use for the spanning tree lab that will be coming on the next video. We're going to grab a couple switches. What we'll do is we'll actually name this one first. Yeah, let's try this. SW1, and then we can just do it. So our topology will be like have four switches. I'll have router, one, and we'll go ahead and connect them all up. We'll connect ETH0 from our home network to ETH1 on the router. From ETH2, switch 1 on 1. We'll come out of 24 to switch 1, and just keep daisy chaining down the line. This is something I've seen several times in my lifetime, and it's less than ideal, but it is a functional network. We'll go ahead and power everything on. And the GNS3 VM is 100% load, which is fine. Once the load is less than 100%, we'll go ahead and start logging in, setting the names, and then showing you how to set ROMON. And everyone's probably asking, what the heck is ROMON? So Mikrotik ROMON is the router management overlay network, the feature provided by Mikrotik and RouterOS, and allows everyone who wants to administrate devices that you don't have a direct connection to. And it essentially creates an overlay network that works over broadcast, works over the layer 2, doesn't even need IP. And it can allow you to be connected to one device and be able to get to all the devices within that particular network segment. The discovery process for it basically says, hey, we're advertising this protocol. Do you accept it? And if so, do you have any kind of password associated with it? If so, then go ahead and authenticate. So you can actually use it in a secured environment or a shared environment and just turn on the password feature for it. But in our case, we won't need to do that. So the VM is down to 1%, which means everything's nice and booted. We'll connect the console. Connect the console. We'll just connect the console to all the things. So we have R1 through switch 4. And go ahead and say no, reading the license, set our password. Okay, so we're logged into all devices. We're gonna go ahead and set the identity first. We're going to sys ident set name, call this R1, and we'll rinse and repeat through all the devices. SW1, SW2, SW3, and last but not least, SW4. And now we're going to turn on ROMON, and it's simple as going to Tools, ROMON, Set, Enabled, Yes. And we can actually copy and paste this whole command and go throughout each one. Now, out of the box, we will only be able to use Winbox to connect to the first device, which is connected to the local network here. So let's go ahead and get the console out the way. Roll Winbox. Go to neighbors, and we hit refresh. We do see R1. It is a CHR, which is part of our virtual environment, and it has got an IP on our network here, but we can't connect to any of the switches. And that's the nature of how most networks are designed. So let's go ahead and click on connect. We'll be able to log into R1 if we type the right password. So we're into R1, no problem. Now let's say we want to get to switch 1 through 4. Well, we can click on the MAC address or IP, and then click on connect to ROMON. It's going to take a minute, and it's going to refresh the screen. Now it actually has the MAC address of the router, and this is the ROMON agent or the ROMON initial connection. And now you can see all the other devices that are connected to that ROMON agent. See switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, and it shows the path it takes to get to each individual devices. So this is directly connected. Then this has to bounce through one other MAC besides its own, then 2, then 3 other MACs besides its own. Go ahead and connect to all 4. And helps if we don't change the username. Go ahead and hit connect. Do the same thing for switch 2, switch 3, and lastly switch 4. And now we have connected our local PC to all 4 switches and the router. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right here so we can break this up so that spinning tree can be its own video, but we do have the setup ready to go, and we'll continue from here. Thanks so much.